welcome to TechSoup to new member orientation and Q&A. We hope you're going to get a lot of answers to the questions you may have. I'm going to show you how you can engage on the next slide. My name is Aretha Simons. I'm the webinar producer here. And I do want to let you know this is being recorded, so you're going to get the recording later today. If you need to turn on the closed caption, just click on the CC button at the bottom of your screen. You can type in the chat or the Q&A because we have plenty of members here at TechSoup to answer your questions. I'm going to get ready to move out of the way and turn this over to my fabulous teammates. You're going to be in for a treat and all the information. You don't have to take notes. This is going to be recorded. So turn it over to Nick. You guys have a great webinar.
Well, hi, good morning, everybody, depending on where you are. We are on the West Coast, many of us in California, so for us it is mid-morning. But I want to welcome you to today's new member orientation at TechSoup. You've already met the wonderful Aretha Simons. We're also joined today by my wonderful colleagues Kelly Garrett, Gerard Morris, Susan Tenby, and Kevin Mulhall. And together, we're going to share with you what TechSoup can do for you and how you can engage with TechSoup to get the things that your nonprofit wants on a technology front and needs so that it can achieve and accomplish its mission. My name is Nick Finn. I'm the head of global growth marketing here at TechSoup, which really means just being the guy who has to think about all the communications that we produce and talk to nonprofits in the US and around the world about the different technology options available to them through TechSoup. We're going to start pretty quick here with the first foundational question of what is TechSoup? Listening and seeing in chat where lots of folks come from, there's a mixture today of folks who have just started working with TechSoup and some folks who've been around for a while. So for those of you who've been around for a while, some of this may be a little repetitious, but if you're new to TechSoup, it's pretty important to uncover some of these core details because I want you to understand who we are and who you can work with, right? So first of all, TechSoup is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with more than 400,000 nonprofit members in the United States. And your nonprofit can join TechSoup too and become a member. We'll talk more about that shortly. Our mission, what we do, our goal is to support nonprofits who work with technology to help build a more equitable planet. I want to highlight that last part because it really, really is important to me and to the rest of this team and to the organization as a whole. TechSoup is a nonprofit. We are not here to sell software and hardware and services to make a profit. We believe that these tools can really be foundational in the work of other NGOs and nonprofits to do good in the world. How do we do that, though? Well, one way is that we host a catalog of affordable technology products from all sorts of major tech brands like Microsoft, Dell, Intuit, Adobe, and many, many more. And what we do is we try to collate in one place the philanthropic offers that are available from these tech companies for nonprofits. And again, we'll talk more about that as we get into the presentation. TechSoup has also been around for more than 30 years, and as a result, we really understand that in the nonprofit sector, it's not enough just to buy a new technology product. Often, that's when the hard work really begins. Now, we have also developed a series of services to help nonprofits as they deploy and administer and troubleshoot various technologies that they want to use to achieve their mission. We're going to talk more about those services that are also available through TechSoup. So we've got some products, we've got some services. We also, predictably, as a nonprofit, create all sorts of educational resources to help folks understand technology skills and expertise and try to just build their ability to work with tech on a day-to-day basis. And finally, we also, like the rest of the nonprofits on this call right now, deliver grant-based programming to help civil society use technology, right? So we have this catalog, we provide services, we provide education, and we also do some very specific grant-based work. So I want to hit a couple of key terms here that are important to keep in mind that kind of frame how TechSoup engages with the broad nonprofit community. The first is this notion of qualified. TechSoup's catalog and services and materials are intended and only available for 501c3 nonprofit organizations. And that means that when you join TechSoup and become a member, part of what you have to do is go through a process to show us that you are indeed a 501c3. And once you have done that, then you are qualified to use TechSoup's services and catalog. The second term I want to bring up is membership, right? TechSoup is a membership organization. You join TechSoup at one of three different membership tiers. And later on in this presentation, Gerard Morris is going to step forward and help us understand with more clarity and a little deeper what that membership picture looks like at TechSoup. Another key term to talk about is digital resilience, which is this notion that your nonprofit's technology helps you to quickly respond, adapt, and continue to serve during external disruptions or crises. And this is a really important thing that I want to pull out. And here's a real case example of it. So my colleague Kelly Garrett, who's on this call right now, she's in Southern California. Probably lots of other people on this call also know people in Southern California. And you know what's going on down there. And part of the impact of that is that internet connectivity, Wi-Fi, broadband, all of that is severely impacted by the winds and fires going on down there. Digital resilience is the notion of how do you cope with that? So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. And finally, there's the notion of civil society. Civil society is this broad term that you'll often see at TechSoup that really refers to the change makers and the do-gooders around the world working in nonprofits, charities, and other NGOs to make the world a better place, right? That's civil society. It's not the corporations and it's not the government. It's everybody else who's trying to do that kind of meaningful work. Now, I'm going to give you a brief preview of what Gerard's going to talk about in a little bit, but I want to say up front that the key to accessing the resources we're about to discuss is you need to be a TechSoup member. If you're not already signed up with TechSoup as a member and have gone through the qualification process, you need to do that first before you can use the services and products that we're about to talk about. There are three different levels of membership at TechSoup: DIY, Boost, and Quad. And when Gerard comes up here, we're going to talk more about what those three levels mean and how you can engage with us. Now, let's turn to what it is that TechSoup offers nonprofits that helps you accomplish your goals, further your mission, and achieve the things that you want to achieve. And the first, as I said up front, is that we maintain this catalog of technology products. So if you go to the homepage of TechSoup.org, and you don't have to do that right now because I'm there showing it to you on screen, you can see right there in the middle of that homepage, there's a Browse Catalog button. It's also up here in the navigation, right? Product Catalog. That takes you straight to the TechSoup catalog. And let's see, I'm going to click through there right now, and you'll be able to get a view of what that TechSoup catalog looks like up front. Give it a second here while the broadband catches up with everything. Okay, so this is the TechSoup product catalog, and right off the bat, you can see that it starts to feature some of the things that nonprofits are most interested in from TechSoup. There's a series of great offers here at the top. Right now, we're featuring a vast antivirus software and a load of other items that'll scroll through there. Some very common things nonprofits look for from TechSoup include Microsoft Office, Adobe Acrobat, Norton 360, Intuit, Windows, lots of hardware options, etc. I'm not going to go through every single product that we have in the catalog right now, but there are many. But I do want to highlight a few that are pretty important and the most popular options really that nonprofits come to for us. The first one is Microsoft. TechSoup has a long, robust relationship with Microsoft. We've been working with them for decades, and they understand very much how important it is for nonprofits to have access to the most modern tools that Microsoft creates. whether it be Windows, Microsoft Office, or something more specialized for managing a server, right? But that relationship with Microsoft is a really important relationship for TechSoup. We believe that nonprofits can benefit greatly from managing Microsoft Cloud products through TechSoup. And if your nonprofit at the moment needs to upgrade, change, or evolve its Microsoft stack, I would say that TechSoup is an excellent place for you to engage and to start doing that work. Another big brand that gets a lot of attention in the TechSoup catalog is Adobe. Adobe, one of the leaders, if not the leader, in the creation of online digital visual assets, design, print design, video production. They kind of do it all. For a long time, the most popular product coming out of Adobe for a lot of communications professionals was Adobe Creative Cloud. That's the product that contains Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, Dreamweaver, and that kind of stuff. Of course, Adobe also is the provider and creator of Acrobat Pro. That is the choice program for managing PDFs, portable document format. PDFs are something that Adobe itself created. They invented that. And then there's a new product in Adobe that a lot of nonprofits are now taking called Adobe Express. Adobe Express is great for folks who are like social media managers who are trying to iterate and produce high quality graphics, social media items quickly. It can handle video. It's got a great robust set of templates, etc. So there's a great variety of Adobe product available through TechSoup. And if you work in communications or PR or design at your nonprofit, it's a natural place to start in that catalog. Another big brand in the TechSoup catalog that has really captured a lot of attention is Intuit QuickBooks. In fact, I would argue that it may be at this point the most popular item in the TechSoup catalog. In short, of course, all nonprofits struggle with the notion of how do you best manage your finances. And as the pandemic really illustrated, there are still nonprofits out there who do that on spreadsheets or even worse, in a paper and pencil system. But as soon as people were not able to be in the same place together, those paper and pencil systems really started to prove that they're not adequate for the job. And, a spreadsheet is better than nothing, but the truth is, what's much better is to use a platform that's really designed to help you manage your finances. And so Intuit QuickBooks is that platform at TechSoup, and thousands of nonprofits come to TechSoup for that product every single year. There are also a lot of other brands and products in the TechSoup catalog. And I share this screenshot with you just to illustrate what some of them are. We're not going to go into all of these for sure, but again, I encourage you on your own time to dig into the catalog, take a look at the brands that are available to you. Perhaps you will find that in there is a tool set or something that can really help your nonprofit. Another part of the TechSoup product catalog beyond software is our access to hardware for nonprofits. And again, to reiterate, part of what we believe is like the cost of technology itself can be a limiter for nonprofits. And so we try really hard to get items in the TechSoup hardware catalog at the most affordable level that we can. I want to show you really quickly that to get to the hardware section of TechSoup, you first have to click into the product catalog on the top menu bar there, and then you can go to hardware on the left. I'll add that you don't have to remember this, that we are in fact implementing new navigation on the site next week. And once that happens, you will be able to access hardware directly from a drop-down menu. But in any case, not to distract us too much, if you go to the hardware link, what you will see is a host of offers from partners with TechSoup that include Dell, HP, Lenovo. We carry a very popular set of mobile beacon mobile hotspots, which give you internet access where you may not be able to get it elsewhere. And one of the big offers in the TechSoup hardware catalog is called refurbished hardware. Refurbished hardware is where you take a computer, laptop, PC, and in sometime other devices as well now. And they may not be brand new, but they've gone through a certified refurbishment process to make sure that they are still able to handle the job needed. So, are they Windows 11 compatible? Is the monitor working? Is the hard drive wiped free? Is the processor in the box actually functioning at the speed that is appropriate? That's what refurbishers do. We provide access to refurbished laptops and desktops through the hardware program. And really, this speaks also a lot to TechSoup's own internal mission. Again, back to that notion of really trying to build a more equitable planet. We were one of the leaders decades ago saying that it's not good if people just buy brand new computers all the time and then throw the 2 or 3 year old computer in the dumpster. That this technological waste has a huge impact on the environment, and that a much greener practice is to make sure that we reduce, reuse, and recycle, and that applies also to technology like hardware, laptops, and desktops. So we were one of the early promoters of refurbished hardware. Now if you look out on the internet, there's all sorts of other outlets also advertising and promoting refurbished hardware. And we like to take a little credit for being the ones who really pushed that. Not the only ones, but one of the major players. But we provide access to those refurbished items through the TechSoup catalog as well. And they are definitely a more cost-effective option if you really have a super tight budget, but you need to onboard hardware. I recommend looking at the refurbished catalog. Um, Now, beyond the product catalog, as I said on the front end, TechSoup's also come to recognize over time that once you get a new piece of hardware or software, often the hard work has just begun. Now you need to implement it properly. You need to make sure you've chosen the right license. You need to make sure that your staff or volunteers or board members are adequately trained or understand how to use that. Often there's an element where you have to migrate legacy or old data into this new platform and many, many other technology services that you may not have the in-house expertise to support. That's why TechSoup has developed over time a series of services that help nonprofits with these tech issues. Services are available through the drop-down menu I'm illustrating on the screen right now. And let's talk about a few of them. I'm going to bump ahead here um, and pull through to our landing page on digital solutions and services. So I'm just going to talk briefly about what some of these top end ones are, but encourage you to take a look at the services offerings on the website and see if there's something in there that could really help your nonprofit. One thing that we know over time is like almost no nonprofit out there feels its website is perfect or good enough. Everybody, including me here at TechSoup, always can see that we need to make changes to the site. The site needs to be better. We need to do this. We need to do that. But again, for lots of nonprofits, lacking the in-house expertise to execute this, the question becomes like, who's going to do the work? So we have developed over time services to support nonprofits who need to make edits, changes, or complete redesigns of their website. These are not free services. I want to be super clear about that. These still cost money, but it's a lot easier to work with TechSoup and go through that process than it is to just reach out onto the broad internet and try to find somebody who's going to help you there. We also provide something called Managed IT Service. That's illustrated under the Get IT Support. Managed IT Service is where we contract with a nonprofit to take a large role, an overarching management role, helping them manage all the different elements of their technology. And this is great if you really, again, going back to what you're already sensing as a common theme, if you don't have the in-house expertise to manage all this technology, then perhaps a managed IT solution through TechSoup would be a good route to go. We have found over time that in most nonprofits, unless you get to very large organizations, the IT person is usually wearing multiple hats, right? They're doing IT, but they're also doing three other things. And sometimes that just can be too much. So managed IT is a way to kind of get past that roadblock and see if you can do a better job managing your IT stack. As I mentioned, sometimes when you get a new product, part of what you need to do is bring a new data set into that product or a legacy data set. For instance, in the case of QuickBooks, you may want to bring into it your historic bookkeeping. But that's not an easy process if you don't know how to do it yourself or you've never done something like that. So we do have a migration to QuickBooks Online service to help you with that. Some other services that really jump out right now are cybersecurity training services. We all know every day we seem to get more and more nefarious actors in email trying to take advantage of people, phishing attacks, ransomware attacks, all those things that we read about in the newspaper that can seem scary. But one of the main things nonprofits need to do around that is just make sure staff are trained not to accidentally fall into one of those traps. And so cybersecurity services can be a great way for you to help train your own staff on that. Maybe you're a nonprofit that needs to actually have an external marketing strategy where you're reaching out to a public audience to talk more about what your mission is and how they can engage with you and be part of it. We can help you develop some of those marketing services. If you're using Google Ad Grants and don't know how to make that pay off fully on a monthly basis, you can engage with TechSoup about your Google Ad Grants, etc., etc. I can't cover all the services that we make available in this brief webinar, but as I said, if you look at that services drop down from the menu, you can go straight to the services overview, take a look at the different services available, and perhaps there's something there that can really help your nonprofit. Now, these are all wonderful offers that TechSoup has, right? But like I said on the front end here, we are only here to help nonprofit organizations, 501c3s in the United States. And for you to take advantage of these offers from TechSoup, the first thing you have to do is be a TechSoup member. So now you're going to meet Gerard Morris, wonderful colleague here at TechSoup, who is the senior director at TechSoup, who's in charge of membership. And Gerard's going to lead us through the understanding of what these membership levels are, how you can engage with them, and how to think about them. So Gerard, take it away.
All right. All right. So first of all, thanks, Nick, and thank you all for the time today. So as Nick talked about, there's a ton of resources that TechSoup makes available to you as you continue to go on your technology journey. What we've wanted to do is continue to expand that to add even more value to your experience. And so on this chart, on this slide here, you see kind of this grid of three different membership options. The first is the DIY or do-it-yourself option, which is, hey, you know what you want. Hey, I want to get QuickBooks. I'm going to get it, and I know what I want to do after that, or I need to get some Microsoft licenses, et cetera, et cetera. Most of you here fall into that category, especially if you're relatively new members. You probably have not been fully exposed to our membership options. And so this is the category that you would fall into. And so this is, as of today, this is still absolutely free as long as you're a qualified 501c3. You fall into that category and we're able to get you qualified. The next level is Boost, which is, hey, we know that you enjoy coming to TechSoup because of the discounts we offer, but we also have a select group of products where you can get even more discounts on the products that we have available. And in addition to that, we in our TechSoup courses catalog, you get 50% off of all 100 and 200 level courses. So although there are nominal fees associated with those, you get 50% off of those particular fees. But the biggest draw as it relates to Boost today is the additional discounts. And we can talk in more detail about some of the products that are actually in that. But just to give you an example, Zoom platform, which we're using today and you all are probably familiar with, is in the Boost catalog. Dropbox, popular file sharing software, is in the Boost catalog. So, and what that means is today when you go into the regular catalog, you have admin fees that you pay associated with that accessing that particular product. In Boost, those admin fees are heavily discounted, oftentimes by 50% or more. And in a few cases, those admin fees are completely waived. So now you no longer pay the admin fees. And so on the whole, that is the Boost membership program. And we're continuing to explore ways to add more value to that particular experience. Now, once you get into quad, it raises the stakes even more from an experience standpoint. And so this includes everything that you get with Boost, so the additional discounts on certain products. But you get access to all of our 100 and 200 level TechSoup courses for free. And we have some really interesting courses, the grant writing, Microsoft Excel, and a few others that I think you all would find valuable to check out. And all of this stuff is public, so you can go and you can see what courses are actually. As a matter of fact, if someone here on my team can, if we can drop in the link to the Boost catalog, I know we had talked about links before, the Boost catalog, as well as links to the TechSoup courses page, just for folks to kind of peruse here as well. Now, for those of you, we know many nonprofits do not have dedicated IT resources, and you make do with what you can. You may hire consultants here or there or find folks that'll do pro bono work for you. We want to continue to bridge that gap, and Quad helps you do that in a number of ways. One, it helps you to connect with peers who share the same issues. So just like there's dialogue happening here in this Zoom chat, we have an entire Quad private community of nonprofits where the discussion is around technology and how folks are working through certain technology challenges. In addition to that, we're preparing to launch our volunteer program where we started to recruit industry volunteers as it relates to cybersecurity and website development and marketing and other arenas where you can, as a quad member, you can go and say, hey, I'm looking for someone to provide me with some guidance on this particular domain. And we would connect you with volunteers to be able to expand your skill set and make better decisions. We also have Quad exclusive member only events that we have on a regular basis within Quad. And then we also have an entire repository of exclusive content. And that includes very detailed articles and not even blog posts. These are very detailed articles, almost white paper like content that allows you to share with that allows you to learn more about specific products. So for example, I saw folks talking about Adobe Express. We've got a whole host of videos and content as it relates to Adobe, but not just that, also Google Workspace, also other areas as well. So we've got that content, and it comes in the form of video as well as written content. And so I already talked about the peer-to-peer community, but that's Quad, and as you can see here, the membership fees for those $99 for Boost per year, and then Quad is $200 for per year. And I just want to be clear, this is not a situation where TechSoup is riding the gravy train and we just have an abundance of resources and funding. We scrap for every dollar, just like you all. And so this is our way of trying to remain sustainable, but continuing to provide the value that we've added for such a long time for folks. So I want to make that clear that it's about sustainability for us. And I implore you to explore these memberships. And if you have questions, you can reach out to myself, Kevin Mulhall here on my team, as well as Susan Timby, who is also on my team. Nick, I think we're ready to go to the next slide here. And I'm just going to quickly speak to this. So the customer success team, I mean, this is an example of over the years, we have tried to work to do our best to provide value. So it's one thing to get access to a product. It's another to be able to know where to go to find resources to help you be proficient in these products. And so my team helps to close that gap. And we do a lot of that now for our Quad members, and we're working on some things for our Boost members as well. But we offer tech consults to help guide you in the right direction. And obviously, as a Quad or a Boost member, you get priority for those types of interactions. Maybe you're just a little confused about which product works for you, depending on your size or your industry or the challenges that you face. But that's where we kick in. And I can go into large detail about a lot of the other things that we are able to do, but we do have a foundation of a customer success team, member success team, if you will, to help you as you get stuck with various things. And that includes even directing you to our ecosystem of service providers. So let's say you do have a heavy a IT project that requires heavy lifting. We have partners that specifically work in the nonprofit arena, and we'd love to be able to connect you. We can go to the next slide. As a matter of fact, we're going to transition to my colleague, Kelly Garrett, who leads our client services team. And this is, as you all are purchasing licenses or have like issues and need help, her team is fantastic in terms of the on the ground, day-to-day support of you all. And so I'll let Kelly jump in here, but thank you all for the time.
Thanks, Gerard. All right, Kelly, take it away.
Thank you, everybody. I'm, as Nick mentioned, where I'm at, the internet service has been kind of spotty, so I might have to turn off my camera, or if I cut in and out, I apologize and appreciate your patience during these crazy times here in Southern California. As I was introduced, my name is Kelly Garrett. I am the manager for TechSoup Client Services. TechSoup Client Services provides our customer support. If you've ever used our live chat to talk to us, request account support, learn more about products, things like that, that would be the client services team that you're working with. Next slide, please. Perfect. So one thing that we hear from members is a lot of times asking general questions about products or services. And I like to highlight where you can find most information on our website. So you don't have to get on our live chat and wait for us to get in touch or get on and point some things out to you. We are very busy at the beginning of the year, so we can have a little bit of longer wait times for connecting with a representative through our live chat. So the following information I'm going to go over should help you figure out some of the information you're looking for without having to sit in our queue waiting for us. So right here, you'll see on our on the screenshot here is when you're looking for a product or a service, you're going to be going through that product catalog as Nick described. And through the catalog is where you'll navigate around, find something you're interested in, you're going to click on it, and you're going to get what we call an offer page or product page. And on this page is where you'll be able to find underneath the name of the product, who the donor partner is. Intuit creates and owns QuickBooks Online, so they're listed as the donor partner. This is a cloud product, so it says multiple systems instead of Mac or PC. Real important to always check that, if you're working on a Mac or a PC and you get the wrong version, that's always rough. So right there off the bat is where I recommend people look at information first. We do have administrative fees for most of our offers. I did put in a link in the chat earlier highlighting a TechSoup support article explaining why we charge administrative fees if anyone's curious for more information. But the red admin fee is usually for quantity of one, unless otherwise specified in the title. And then underneath there is where you're going to be able to add it to your cart. You'll see login if you don't, if you're not logged in, you will need to be logged in to add stuff to your cart to be able and be able to move forward. Underneath there is you're going to see 3 tabs of information. I have heard from members that it can be easy to miss sometimes just because the font is a little gray on white. So just make sure you're always checking those 3 tabs. Most information like how do I renew this product next year is covered in like the middle tab for subscription details. Or I'm an existing subscriber. Am I eligible for this product or service? Some of the products and services are not designed for existing members on that platform. You're going to have to either do a workaround like QuickBooks Online. There's a migration process that Nick mentioned, or sometimes it's just, you can't apply it to your existing account. You have to start a brand new one. So important to go through all 3 tabs and look at everything because we do have a fairly strict no refunds and no refunds, no exchanges policy. So it's something to keep in mind that you want to review everything. And if you're not quite certain about something, reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions. We can always get you connected with customer success if you're looking for some recommendations or quotes, things along those lines. Perfect. Next slide, please. So this is the descriptions detail tab I was kind of talking about. You'll see it talks about start date, continuing service after a year, things along those lines. So really good idea to check that middle tab before moving forward. Next slide, please. Perfect. So our website is going under a little bit of some updates. So this help button at the top right screen here is going to eventually be a drop down that has a couple different options. When you are clicking on this in the future, I think it's at the end of this month, you'll see this change. You will see TechSoup support, and that's where we recommend our folks go to look at all of our support articles. And you'll be getting through that again, and we'll say help there, be a drop down, and you'll see TechSoup support, and that will start at the end of this month. Right now, if you just click that help button, you'll be taken directly to TechSoup support, and you'll be able to see our 3 different categories. Next slide, please. So we have product support, Microsoft support, and general support. And underneath those sections, you can click on to get to the different articles. You'll see promoted articles and popular ones. So these are the ones that we've promoted, and then they're usually listed in the order of how often they're clicked on. So you can kind of see what people are looking at by going down and looking at those promoted articles. Microsoft is its own section. There is a lot of information and a lot of things that can go on with Microsoft, whether it's cloud or on premises, aka desktop. So, definitely check in there if you have any Microsoft questions. We've got a ton of articles in there. Our general support is where you can find most general information about account management, fulfillment process, how to request an offer, things along those lines that I've been kind of dropping articles from in the webinar chat today. Product support, of course, is product support. We'll be able to find some more specific information. For example, there's a whole QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks section. So if you had questions about QuickBooks Online, what does that data transfer look like? What does the renewal process look like? Highly recommend going and checking out the TechSoup support articles. We try to make them as thorough as possible, and we're constantly in there updating it. QuickBooks Online Plus is out of stock right now. We don't have an ETA for it, but we do have an article in our product support section that says QuickBooks Online is out of stock. What do I do? And if you go in, we've been putting our updates in there. So we do try to make sure that it's a kind of a live living document that's always reflecting what's going on today for support. Next slide, please. So just trying to wrap this up here, you've heard a lot about different teams and what we do. And so just wanted to create a little bit of a quick breakdown for you is customer service can provide general support for account management. We can answer general product questions. We can help you if you can't find your fulfillment email, general things like that. If you're looking for more of an in-depth consultation on I have this system and I'm looking for these kinds of products, or I'm curious about the TechSoup membership, I want to learn more. Or do you have a recommendation what product or service to get for what I'm doing with my activities and my mission? That's something customer success is going to be able to assist you with, and you can get a free consultation going with them, as Gerard mentioned, and as Kevin Mulhall's been so kindly putting his email in there for folks that want to reach out and get a talk going. And last but not least, of course, is the services and solutions. We actually be connected with an IT professional. I am not tech savvy. If I can't help you download and install a good amount of things, but I can help you find a service where it will be able to support you and you will be connected to someone remotely, as Nick's described here. So little breakdown here just to kind of set your expectations when you connect with us, what we can and cannot do. We're mostly internal account management stuff and basic product questions. Next slide, please. Last but not least is I did want to highlight the 2 articles I recommend going to when you are looking to contact customer service. We do utilize live chat only. We do not offer phone support anymore, and email support, and we don't have an email alias to reach out to for the most part. So live chat is where you're going to go. You will be connected to a person. We do not use AI to support our members. You'll have some automated messaging at the beginning pointing you to the TechSoup support articles, letting you know about any upcoming closures, the information we're going to ask you for, that kind of messaging, but you will be connected to a person. It's not going to be a bot or an AI thing helping you once you get connected to a representative. So highly recommend checking out How Do I Contact TechSoup Customer Service, has our upcoming closure dates, how to get in contact with us. And then for the folks that run into any issues accessing the live chat, we do have the unable to access TechSoup's customer services live chat. A lot of times it's browser settings, pop-up window blockers. We don't recommend using your phone for navigating our website. It is best to be used on a computer, things along those lines that will have troubleshoot and resolve most issues with not being able to get in touch with us. So I'd like to highlight those 2 for you. I believe that's my last slide there, Nick. Oh, just for my little highlight of that's what it looks like. These screenshots are in those articles I just highlighted. So if you're looking for that help bubble at the bottom, and that help bubble will get you connected to different resources. If we are online, because we do have hours of operation, we are not just open 24/7 as much as we'd like to be. But if we are available, once you kind of get going in that help bubble, you'll get an option to get in touch, and you'll be able to get in touch with us.
Super. Thank you so much, Kelly. Um, And so now back to our big picture here. Thanks everybody who attended today, but don't leave yet. I'm just about to drop an extra special treat into the chat here, but real quick, just to recap. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to help you work with technology so that you can achieve your global equitable planet goals. We have that product catalog we looked at together. We have the services we talked about together. We have 3 membership tiers, one of which you need to be part of in order to use TechSoup's catalog and services, right? You've got DIY, Boost, and Quad. And then finally, you do have like real people at TechSoup that you can engage with if you need additional help or guidance. It's funny here at the end that Kelly brought up AI, though, and I think that this whole webinar would be remiss if we didn't touch on that topic because clearly, if you're anywhere close to the technology industry or frankly on the West Coast at all, everybody's talking about AI and how are you going to use it and what are you doing with it? And I think we all have our own personal feelings around what AI is good for and what it is not good for. But part of what TechSoup's role sometimes is to just really uncover the nonprofit sector thinking on things. And so one thing we did toward the end of last year is a really great big survey of US nonprofits around AI. And we've now had the time to kind of collate those results and generate for your reading, I'll call it pleasure, but use that term loosely, a report on the status of AI and where it is in the nonprofit sector specifically. And right now, because you stayed to the very end, and I really appreciate your time, I have just dropped the link in chat to the landing page that illustrates that report. Now, I'll be honest, like this is what we call gated. Like you got to submit your email to get a download of the report. But again, going back to the point that we're here to serve nonprofits and we're just like making sure that we're talking to nonprofits when we have it. So if you are interested in reading more about how nonprofits are feeling about AI and what some potential use cases for it might be, I would encourage you to take a look at that report that you can download off the page that I just shared. With that, we have reached the 42-minute mark. I want to thank you all again for making the choice to be part of the nonprofit sector because folks generally do that because they really want to make sure that the work they're doing has meaning and value, and they want to do they want to do work to build better communities, make a stronger world, all those good, laudable things. That's why we're a 501c3. That's why you are too. So thank you for your time and attention today. I do hope that TechSoup can prove to be a valuable supporter and ally as you work with technology. I think as Aretha said on the front, you will receive a copy of this PowerPoint sorry, it's a Google slide actually. You'll receive a copy of this slideshow in email. There are live links in there that you can follow to get to some of the pages we looked at together. With that, I will let you all go. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you on the TechSoup site sometime in the near future. Take care.